Sage Wanderer here, and welcome to Story Time with Uncle Sage. So, if you're not familiar with story times with Uncle Sage are true stories from my past or stories handed down to me about my family from reliable sources. So, this story I want to share with you is one of the oldest ones from our family. I recently got confirmation of this story, found it actually written, I believe it was in a newspaper article. But I'd heard the story passed down through my family tree that during the Civil War, one of my ancestors, his sons and grandsons all went away to fight in the Civil War. He was 82 years old, and he decided to join them. He just couldn't stay on the sidelines, and he wanted to do his part. So he joined the Army for the Confederacy at the age of 82 years old. He became a well-known and decorated assassin at the age of 82. He would stealthily sneak into range with literally an original Kentucky rifle, long rifle. He used his old-fashioned Kentucky long rifle that he'd been used to using, and he would get up in a tree or up on a hill in a bush or grass in grass, and he would shoot officers on the Union side. And he became a feared assassin at the age of 82. He lost 3 of his 4 sons in combat, and they were killed. His remaining living son, he heard had been captured and was in a prison camp in Pennsylvania. The big bad one, I think it was in Pennsylvania. Andersonville, maybe? I think it was Andersonville, wherever that was. At the time, he and his family were living, the family farm was in Texas, near Granbury, Texas. So south of Fort Worth, Dallas and Fort Worth. And at any rate, when he heard that his son was languishing in prison, he went to try to get him out at the end of the war. And he walked from Texas to Pennsylvania. Apparently it took him nearly all summer to walk there and back. He went there, found his son in the prison camp, arranged for him to be released and returned home. But the problem was he had no clothes. He was literally naked, wrapped in basically a loincloth, in the horrible conditions in this Union prison camp when he found him. So he did not have the money to just hire a tailor or buy clothes. They were just poor farmers, and they made their own clothes. And so with no other choice, he walked all the way home to Texas, where they purchased wool from sheep, not like wool fabric, but actually purchased the raw wool from another farmer. And then they turned that into thread, and then they used a loom in their own home. They used a loom to make the fabric, to sew the clothes, to create a set of clothes, and were able to get their hands on a pair of shoes. And then my ancestor, at the age of 86 years old, walked for a second time, this time in the fall and winter, all the way to Pennsylvania to retrieve his only remaining living son from the prison camp there, and bring him the clothes that he needed to make the return walk. And even though his son was emaciated, he nursed him back to health while slowly walking all the way back to Texas. That's what life was like in the old days. That's the kind of thing my ancestors were made of. This is why I'm tough as can be, and all of my family are tough as can be. And we typically stay fighting fit into our 70s. And in the case of this one ancestor, he would become a deadly assassin at the age of 82 and walk across the United States twice to retrieve his son at the end of the Civil War. So I thought I'd share that quick video with you. Today's the day where I normally produce a sermon. I may or may not produce a sermon today. That's one thing about waiting on God. He has his own reasons and his own timing, but I'm right here, wide open vessel, waiting to hear from him. I feel like I'm probably going to get one released today. But if not, we'll see you on Thursday, right? I don't give up. I just keep swinging. But we'll see you next time on Uncle Time, Story Time with Uncle Sage. And I hope you enjoyed that bit of biographical information from my ancestry. And I would like to thank Catherine at Ancestry.com for helping me uncover that. We'll see you next time.